Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patience. We're a gaming podcast with a Dota 2 problem. I am your host Cyphus. I'm sitting here with his own biggest fan, Roland.
That's good. Hey everybody.
You are your biggest fan, you know?
No.
Or am I your biggest fan?
You're my biggest fan.
I might be your biggest fan. That's the sad thing here.
At least I have one. I mean,
you got one fan?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Let's talk a little bit about ESL before we get too far in the show.
So it was the Venom not intended.
Yeah,
that was more like a flight and a really 4,000 mile travel. And yes, I feel the same way that I did Monday. In no way was this pointed toward ESL management.
Oh no,
In no way was this pointed toward any particular person.
Yeah, I was thrilled to. And at the end of the day, I
or
was still
organization.
thrilled to be there.
And yeah, it was a blast. Like
I guess
it was New York City.
I felt like it was on the way back. I felt like it was. We were, kind of had a discussion. Admittedly, that it was a tired discussion. So anything negative,
I don't regret it.
I know was exacerbated by all of that. But at the end of the day, I still had a really fun time being there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was still glad that we went. It was a blast to see New York. I'd never been into New York City, proper.
That's what I hated the most about it. Was New York was a place that, I guess, if I had terminal cancer, I would put that on my bucket list or something, maybe, to go see New York City. But, maybe. But, yeah, no, that's pretty much what I hated the most of that trip, was New York City. Not a city person, I guess, or not a city person.
I thoroughly
like that.
Enjoyed it.
I was complaining the entire time.
You were, and so a couple.
It was just
of highlights,
a shitty, dirty, fucking
couple of
filthy
highlights
place.
that we didn't get to bring up. I couldn't get you to eat delicious New York City pizza.
I felt like shit the whole time. Is my retort.
You couldn't get you to eat New York City pizza. Not only that, but really couldn't get you to eat anywhere other than McDonald's.
No, we ate at the Playwright.
We ate at the Playwright.
And we ate at that fancy place at JFK where I got a steak sandwich. It was delicious, dude.
It was delicious.
It was like a $60 bottle of wine and a $30 sandwich. It was like, we'll call this the end.
Let's see, what else did I learn about you? Oh, I learned that you think every woman is attracted to you.
No, that's not true.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Let's see, there was Talia, the JetBlue flight attendant.
Talia was looking at me. All right,
yeah.
Talia was
who you hallucinated this entire experience that you had with, and who was wearing a wedding ring. To which Roland explained to me, "No,
got to as
she's
a
not married.
You got to as a
She's not
stewardess.
married.
Talia,
That's not how married women act.
No, it wasn't, dude.
They don't flirt with sexy guys like me."
She was like, "Do you want a coffee?" And I was like, "Yes." And it was like, "Damn, girl, get off my shit." Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I want a coffee? Come on.
And then I won't name names here, but there was one individual at ESL whom Roland believed.
No, that's not true at all. That is not true at all. Cyphus is just...
Oh, please.
What are we... Are you... No, I don't. Were you called the epitome of art?
One time
Were you called the epitome of art?
One time you get called the epitome of art.
I was called the epitome of art.
And now every woman wants to jump you.
Hey, and I just show off the bling ring, dude, and say sorry.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Out of commission, you know what I mean?
Sorry, baby, I gotta head to the Mickey D's.
I did. I did. There was a point where I was starving, and there was a McDonald's fairly close, and it was really just easier to go there. And then
because you only eat where you're comfortable.
Then there was the shop right next to the McDonald's where it's like the stolen goods store, I think is what it should be called, where it's like they have all these electronic items with like names engraved into them. It wasn't even a pawn shop. It looked like I probably could have gone in there and been like, I just lifted 3 cell phones. $50 sound good? Like, and they'd be like, yes, okay.
I doubt it.
We were in the nice part of New York, and that place is a shithole, man. There is nothing. There's never been more of a shithole I've been to than New York City. I'm going to say that.
I disagree. I think the big issue that all right, yeah, cities are dirty.
This one was filthy. New York, it is a filthy place, dude. Garbage strewn
what's gonna
all over
if
the
we
place.
Ever travel abroad? I mean,
I'll complain, but I'll still do it.
There are going to be some places. There are some places on Earth that are far worse than New York City.
Well, I will assess that and cross that bridge when I come to it. Far worse, okay, like, I think you're thinking of, like, I don't know, maybe if we had to go to some places in Southeast Asia that you would say are worse. No, because we're going to be flying into the American zones, where they cater them for Americans only,
okay,
where they, you know, they sell their wares there for quadruple the price that they're worth, but it's still a very cheap price to Americans, and it's highly Americanized. So that's fine.
And this has been the Culture Corner with Roland.
The Culture Corner. Yeah, no, can't do New York City. It wasn't even the people, it was just the fucking filth. I guess it was just like, I was on the airplane all night, get there at 7 a.m. from a red eye, it's raining fucking pollution, is what we'll call it.
No.
It's raining pollution all over me, okay? And it's just shitty, filthy, dirty, with, like, obviously a very big homeless problem. It was crazy to me, to see the amount. It was startling the amount of homeless.
Sad. It's definitely sad.
Very, very sad. But that city is more homeless than homed. I don't know. Like,
well, I don't think it's that bad, but
I feel bad. Like, I don't have enough money to give it to. What do you pick your favorite homeless person to give your money away to?
But, that's kind of that goes hand in hand with being a major
I know it's super
urban area.
populous. I know there are 20 million people that live in New York City, a pinpoint on New York on a map. You know, I understand that, but still, that place is not a place to be like we were on the way back, and there was this lady that she was going to go to Cairo. And she's like, oh, what are you guys doing here? And we were like, well, we were here for this video game tournament. And she's like, well, thank you for visiting my city. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
New Yorkers are a proud people.
I guess so. I was like, when people visit Utah, I'm not like, thank you for visiting Utah. Like, I was like astounded that she thanked me for visiting what I thought to be a shitty place.
I didn't feel that way
Subway,
at all.
filthy fucking dirty.
Okay, I think you would have felt differently had we been able to. We were on a really tight timeline. We spent almost all of our time either at the event or sleeping at the hotel.
I love the New Yorker accent, though. The New Yorker accent. It's a cool accent.
But had we been able to do things like go and see a play on Broadway, that would have been a pretty awesome experience. To do the more touristy shit, to go to the Statue of Liberty, to see. I would have loved to have seen Ground Zero. That would have been really cool to go to.
Oh yeah, our leash was like 1.8 miles long. Like we
spent our entire time in 2 city blocks.
Basically, between probably 6th and 8th Avenue is where we spent our time.
We didn't go any further. We were either on 7th or 8th Avenue.
But 6th, we were close to 6th on the Playwright. I think the Playwright technically was on 6th Avenue.
Yeah, we might have made it as far as 6th. So
we didn't go far.
2 square city blocks.
My assessment of that 2 city square block, and apparently a nice portion, like this is Madison Square Garden, like this is the place.
Well, that lady on the train told us we should have made it out to Central Park. She said it's.
She said street musicians and awesome. I would love to see that because that's what I love Denver. I think that's a great city. I especially love. I think it's 18th Street or 28th Street or something. 8th Street. It's basically where Denver's happening, okay? It's just a really long street block where you're just full of, like, chess tables that you can just sit down and play. It's really cool. And street musicians and pot. There's tons of pot in Denver. It's just, like, you think they're, like, skunks loose when you're walking down that street. And, yeah.
You could definitely smell them in Seattle.
Yeah, in Seattle as well. There were skunks outside, just right outside the event. We'll say that much. But, yeah, no, it was a cool experience in Denver because it was like that, like, you know, bright sunshiny day, I'm just having a good time out in Denver. Like, but New York, it's like, get the fuck out of my way. And there's just like dirty trash all over the place.
Okay.
The vents coming out with shit too. Ugh. I was walking through garbage air, bro, every time, and it was warm too.
First of all, I will say that for all the like stereotypes that you hear about New Yorkers, everybody that we interacted with was incredibly nice, was
super
very
nice.
friendly.
Oh, they weren't mean. Yeah, but they're definitely straight to the point. Like, what's up? What do you need? What's your point? Like, what's your point? Like, let's get to it. Come on. What do you need?
I didn't even experience that.
I felt the rush.
Because I went out with, well, sure, there's a rush, but everybody's, because
it's
everybody's going
bustling,
somewhere.
Dude.
But, like, I don't know, I had like 3 or 4 different interactions with NYPD.
Yeah, me too.
Going out
they were cool.
They were
I would smoke
really
with them,
cool.
dude.
Yeah. They come over and take a smoke break with you. You would never get that in Salt Lake City.
And they were just like, they still like, it wasn't like a nice like, hey, how's your day going? Pretty good. How's your day going? It was like, what is this, a fucking video game event? What do they do? Like, play with joysticks or something? Yeah. And you're just like, no, it's kind of like heroes battling with swords. And one sword called the Battle Fury makes it so you can attack multiple targets. And I was like, all right, bye. And they're like, yeah, bye. And it was cool. They were also there because there was a wrestling event going on at the same time.
That's what they were there
Which everybody was like crowding the media entrance, and I was like, yeah, we got some Dota fans! And they're just like, no. We're here for John Cena. He's in WWE.
We're like, you gotta go down there.
Yeah. And it's like, we're waiting here all day to see John Cena hopefully walk by. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fine.
But
they're both fairy tales. You know what I mean?
A little bit
I don't know what's more fake. I think that, Dota or wrestling,
I'm gonna go with Dota as a little more fake because they're actually beating the shit out of each other when it comes to wrestling.
I don't know. Did you see, the Broodmother play? He was beating the shit out of some people's souls, bro. Yeah, sure. With the Mag.
Mag some emotional scarring, yeah.
Which I have an interesting story to tell on that.
Oh, okay.
Mag talked to this streamer. Oh my god, I can't believe I don't know what his name. It was an article I read. Anyway, he got personal training. Him and DK Phobos on Broodmother. There is a Broodmother out there that exists, okay, that's super fucking good. Okay, played over 2,000 games of just Broodmother, and gave them tips on how to play Broodmother. So Mag said, this is paraphrasing of course, after winning, he's on Vega, they're offlane, after winning is going to reward this person for the help that he was given for Broodmother, because, Broodmother... Without Broodmama, that whole tournament would have been different.
You definitely saw a lot over that tournament.
You saw Mag play 2 games in a row.
Yeah, more than would have been more than.
And I love that hero. That's I think one of my top 3 most played heroes. My problem with Broodmother was always that you see an Earthshaker, you're fucked. You see an Ember Spirit, you're fucked. You see a Lina, you're fucked. You see a Broodmother, you're fucked. You see a Bounty Hunter, you're fucked. You see a Slider, you're fucked.
Initially, your issue with Broodmother was more that there was little creativity in your webs. You were doing what everybody does when they first start playing Broodmother, and that was
or any hero, tower. Or any hero. When you start, you do something linear. You do something. You don't think outside the box of that hero. You play that hero, and there's a guide, and you know that you're invisible under these webs. And utilizing the webs to go over impassable terrain and to farm the jungle is kind of a no-brainer. But definitely nothing. Probably my first 20 Broodmother games, I didn't even think to utilize the jungle and the lane. Yeah. Why would you? Why would you do that? That makes hardly any sense at all. That's not where our
creeps go.
Why would I put a web down so I could get away from the enemy? I need my perfect web structure that is in the exact shape as the lane. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm so happy Brood.
I think everybody does that. Yeah, and it is cool to see.
I'm happy Brood's in meta for 2 reasons. One, at my skill level, if I pick Earthshaker, you're dead. Okay, you're fucking dead. Broodmother. I'm going to find a time where you stick your head out with your horde of spiderlings, and I really quick stomp the ground and kill you. And secondly, I love it because I'm not going to get shit anymore for picking Broodmother. People always will, Brood, what a garbage hero. What a garbage hero. What are you going to do with Brood? What are you going to do with Brood? Falls off at 10 minutes. Worst hero in the game. It's time and time again we have seen people with these fighting Broodmothers. This guy that plays 2K Broodmother games says that he can't believe people don't buy Scotty. He says that is the one item he buys almost every game is Broodmother. And Scotty was bought 1,000 less times on Broodmother than Divine Rapier. So it was one of the most least common bought items on Broodmother. And he gave this big, long explanation and thank you letter for all the attention he's receiving, this person that helped. I can't believe I forget his name. Anyway... Yeah, it made me think, Scotty is a fucking great item on Broodmother. Couple it with her slow that she already has. Anyway, that's my Broodmother tangent. I love that Broodmother's coming to prominence.
So do you want to...
I love that Ember Spirit's coming to prominence, too.
Here's something interesting.
He was undefeated. You know that?
Who was?
Ember Spirit. Undefeated at that tournament. Picked 5 times, I think.
So
undefeated
for
at
the ESL
final
Super Week
portion.
These are Dota buff stats for the entirety of ESL.
Okay.
So not just the quarterfinals and semifinals and finals. do you want to wager a guess at the
I'm sure it was
top
below
five-
50% on
No,
Brood.
the top 5 most picked heroes.
Top 5 most picked heroes. Shit. I don't know. Lena is one of those 5 for sure. Lena, Broodmother, probably... God, who else did we see a lot of? We saw a lot of... God damn it. I don't know. Maybe... I'm going to say Lena and Broodmother, and that's all that comes to mind. I don't know.
So, yeah, you're down with Lena. She's top pick. She was picked in 73 of the all ESL One New York matches.
She was picked in every one?
In 73 matches.
Oh,
I don't know how
okay.
many matches total there were.
Oh, okay.
With 54.75%
Hey.
win rate. So then followed after that was Gyrocopter,
Of course. And I'm sure Leshrac may still even be on there, but he had a high pick ban.
Earthshaker, Storm Spirit, Tusk, and Dazzle.
Okay, that makes sense. Tusk is really annoying. Really annoying lately. So...
I just thought it was kind of interesting because,
That is
a lot
interesting.
of those are still kind of remnants of the old meta. And what it made me wonder was, I wish I could go, and maybe somebody out there knows, I wonder what the, I wonder if there were, how many games of the ESL One, like, overall series was played, in the 684 patch still. You know what I mean? I wonder how much 684 impacted the top 5, or, the most frequently played heroes.
Well, 685, for one, isn't a big patch. I mean, as has been said by IceFrog himself, it was more of a balancing patch. And 2, it's still in its infancy, 685, right? Like, for a patch, we didn't really see Leshrac and Gyro and Bloodseeker and all of those rise to the top of the meta until a quarter of the way through, probably, of 684. Because people had to figure out what was going on.
I wonder about the stats on this. Let's see. I'm going to pull up...
What?
I'm going to pull up just 685 for the most played heroes at that tournament, because I think that will be more accurate. Because I think it's pulling up matches probably from way before, like with qualifiers. Okay, here we go. So top 5, whenever I do just 685 for ESL One New York, Queen of Pain, number 1,
Oh, yeah, tons of
Gyrocopter,
Queen
number
of Pain.
2, Dazzle, number 3, Shadow Fiend, number 4, Bounty Hunter, number 5.
I was gonna say Bounty Hunter. I felt like we saw a lot of Bounty Hunter. I think the meta. I think 684 just reminded people that Bounty Hunter is a really good hero. I mean, track gold didn't change too much. Like it's always been that way. He's always provided extra gold.
Oh, and Broodmother picked 5 times in that tournament, won 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Brood did really well. I know other people were picking Brood because they're just like, Mag made it look so easy. And god damn it, congratulations to Vega. For real. Like, those guys did a great job. I mean, in the tournament, I remember, I think they went up against EG first. And it was like, oh, that sucks for Vega. They're just going to be out in the quarterfinals. Poor guys. And then they just take the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, it was a good story.
Yeah, it really
and it was
was.
fun.
They
again,
didn't make it through the wild
I had
card.
a blast being there, except
Yeah,
for the times whenever we were really busy in the press room uploading videos. And by the way, definitely go check those out, because there are some funny ones up there. The Defense of the Patience rap guy was hilarious.
You mean Jetline the Lyrical?
Jetline of the Lyrical?
Jetline the Lyrical.
Jetliner.
No, it was Jetline.
I had to Google him. I had to pull up his YouTube video.
Jetline the Lyrical, coming at you for cereal.
So, your most banned heroes. How about this? Most banned heroes of the tournament. Who do you think they were?
Well, it's no longer techies, that's for sure. Most banned heroes, I'm sure you're gonna see Tusk. I'm sure you're gonna see, I still think you're gonna see Leshrac getting banned. I still think you're gonna see, goddamn, probably puppy heroes. You probably see a lot of puppy heroes. I bet you saw like a Chen ban. I bet you saw a lot of Chen bans just because Chen's
All
good.
right, so your top 5, Tusk, with just...
I said Tusk, didn't I?
Yeah, Tusk with number 1 with 12 bans.
Okay.
Broodmother number 2 with 10 bans.
Okay, Mag put the fear of God in people.
Yeah. Ember Spirit number 3 with 9.
Ember, undefeated, makes sense. Ban him if you can't win.
Darkseer with 8 bans, and Earthshaker with 7. Earthshaker and Io and Silencer all tied with 7.
Huh. IO, I have realized recently how strong and awesome IO is. And that kind of leads to a transition for me. In this episode, first and before we exit this topic, I do want to say thank you to ESL. Thank you to Lawrence Malastrix Phillips to helping us out to get press passes. Thank you to Christina and Anna for being so accommodating. Thank you to everybody at ESL. I'm not saying that because I got slapped on my hand or anything. We have complete autonomy here at the podcast. I just wanted to make it very clear that I appreciated these people. Thank you to Ben Woomerlini for waving at me. Thank you to
Purge for giving you 57 seconds.
For giving me 30 seconds where he was just like, yeah, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna stop letting you touch me there.
Well, I think he knew you were a crazy person.
I kissed a napkin with my lipstick and wrote my number on it and put it in his pocket.
Yeah, that definitely scared him. When he saw you taking the wedding ring off halfway through the interview.
Yeah. And he's like, why are you taking your ring off? What? This? It was on my ring finger.
Oh, it was on the wrong finger.
Yeah, I meant left and right. I've always been confused with those. Yeah. No, Purge was a really cool guy. I'll tell you, Purge presents himself on YouTube exactly as he presents himself in real life. I want to make that clear to everybody that hasn't met Purge, which was me 2 weeks ago. Oh my god, I met Purge! What? I got an interview with Purge! Oh, he's so cool.
We definitely did way too much complaining on the Monday episode.
We did a lot of complaining, but the thing is, our complaints were this. To summarize everything, we wish players would interview with us, because we're not going to ask you fucking...
Well, and I think more...
global inquirer questions.
I will say that Blue brought up an interesting argument for it, and then someone else we were speaking to today made a really awesome counter-argument. Yeah, Camel. Who may be joining us on the show on Friday to
joining us on the show
talk a little bit of marketing in the esports.
He's basically going to be helping us address the Monday episode of this week in a more professional way. Well,
and just in general have some interesting insights as somebody who works within that business or in that industry.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah. So Blue's point versus
Blue's
Camel's
point. But anyway, so Blue's argument was, well, pros don't really need to give interviews to interact with their audience
because you see them on a stream.
And so we really get to interact with them on a stream in a direct way.
And Camel, I want to say because I thought what Camel said was perfect, and he's like, just because I have a website doesn't mean people fucking interact with me. is basically his counter argument. He doesn't know who you are, Blue. Don't worry. He didn't know that it was your argument. Yeah. He just was retorting to the argument. And that's basically what he said, is but I like the interviewer. And he's like, if I like the interviewer and I like the player, then I want to watch the combination. Because I know what to expect with the interviewer.
Frequently, because of an interviewer, you may grow to like a player, or you may grow to like somebody, the interviewed, and vice versa.
Just because I see Arteezy say, we fucking lost on his stream. That's not all he says, but I love it when he says that. When he says that on his, we fucking lost. Even though they don't, it's just like, he sounds kind of gangster, Arteezy. I mean, I can't wait until I interview that chap. But yeah, no, I don't think I get to know Arteezy intimately. He's not asking himself, so where did I come from? I came from this area. So what, anyway, it's different.
That's all we should say on it. Let's move on to the next topic, because this is not a show dedicated to that.
No, this is not. What I want to talk about today, is I talked about it on the Tryhards a little bit. They had me on. It was nice of them. It was the first time I've ever been a guest on any podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. I felt, I sat in the guest chair. I really did. Because we have
easy to get yourself that guest spot when you're,
they ask me.
The show.
They ask me, I swear to God.
I know.
That's rude. And it would be. I'd be like, yo, I'm coming on.
Guess who's coming on the show today?
No. I don't think I could do that with their show. Blue's a dick. We all know that.
A bigger dick than Wazoo?
No.
I don't think so.
I guess in comparison. What I want to talk about is how the fuck do you get out of 1K to 2K? And this conversation stems from somebody or this thought stems from somebody we talked to at New York, in New York City. Is how the fuck do I get out of 1,200, 1,100, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 1,600? I think it gets I honestly do think there starts to become a difference the closer you get to 2K. I honestly do believe this, and I have been playing only ranked. If you go look at my profile's public, Go look at my recent games. Everything is ranked. Everything is solo, basically. And I think there is a formula. I really do, and I really want to share this because I mean, some of my favorite people that I talk to that listen to this show are plagued with this, what they call the gutter, what they call the trench. And all that is you have new players that are calibrating around your MMR where you're not so new of a player. And yes, those new players may be really good on some heroes, but they're experimenting in some games. There's a million variables that go into it. Here is just one way, or a couple of ways, to put the, advantage on your side. Don't do what I did when we started this show, which was random. I promise you, no matter how wide you think your breadth is of heroes, you do not know all 110. I don't care.
You definitely don't have an advantage with all 110.
No. And even that hero that you're like, for instance, you have a broodmother, or I don't know, you random broodmother. And there's a really good Ember Spirit on the other team. You're pretty much fucked from the start. Plus, Broodmother is a weird hero to play for the first time. I mean, it's relatively simple. Like, you put the net down, you're invisible under it, you make spiders make more spiders, the end, right? No. Ember Spirit fucks you up, and that's gonna suck if you random Broodmother against Ember. This is the reason Ursinity gave us 4 stars from the beginning. Don't do it. It really isn't worth it. It's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you. I did it for a really long time because I didn't give a fuck about my solo, but secretly, I feel very much better about my solo now that it's way higher. I'll tell you. All of a sudden, I care a lot about my solo. Matter of fact, now my party's become the one where I'll do more extravagant things. What you need to do, and a lot of this information comes from talking to a guy named Tom. He's like 5.5K. He helps do Barcraft United. And he said that his favorite thing to do in pubs is play heroes that don't require gold and don't necessarily require levels. And this got me thinking about my hero pool and what heroes I play. And do I play item-dependent heroes? Do I not play item-dependent heroes? And the question is, yes, how I climbed out of the trench was playing on item-dependent heroes. I'll be honest. For the worst portions of the trench, I spammed Storm Spirit. I learned how to play Storm Spirit in ranked solo. I definitely got better as I did it. And it was 6.84 Storm, not 6.85 Storm. It was a better Storm Spirit. But the way that you can look at this is just think of some heroes that if you only have Treads and an Aquia on, and you're still going to be effective. I mean, look at Phantom Lancer, for instance, okay? In a 2K pub, if I only have Treads and Aquia and I'm still working toward my Diffusal Blade and it's 20 minutes, really my levels are good enough. I'm still fighting well. I can still doppelgang out of things. My Q still does a set amount of damage no matter the items I have. My ultimate that replicates me still allows me to farm the jungle. I am a good hero still, no matter what. And yes, I am going to say you probably want to play hard carry wherever you can. You want to play heroes that are impactful. You've noticed this.
Yeah, well, okay, I have noticed that, and that was my argument. Now I'm semi playing devil's advocate and semi.
Okay, you can disagree with me. Like, don't even.
One of the things that I saw a tweet from Ursinity. Your Theorycraft Thursday co-host. Check that out tomorrow, guys.
Yes.
He made the comment when 685 rolled around that he was gaining a lot of MMR by playing support, and it always throws me for a loop because I feel like
I still play support, by the way, and I'll explain a few more.
I feel like I go through this phase back and forth. One, it should be noted. Whereas you play 5 to 6 solo games a day, maybe. Well, let's include all days.
I mean, on the low end, average. On the low end, it's 5 to 6. On the high, it's
let's say over the course of a week, you probably average 3 solo games a day. I think that's fair.
I definitely get 20 games of solo lately a week. So yes.
Okay. So you're getting about 3 a day. I maybe get 0.3 a day.
Okay, you get 2.1
and that's if I'm trying to
do
it. Oh yeah, I mean, of late, like and when I come over, it's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, I'm at the studio, you've been playing solo all day. God damn, I really want to get my solo tomorrow.
You play solo all the time.
Lately I have been playing more with
I stand
it
over your
reminds me
shoulder.
of like kids. There's this concept in psychology called parallel play, where children aren't quite to the point where they can interact while playing, but just play right next to each other.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
Parallel play. That's funny. Wow.
I have been doing a little more of that. So my point just being like, I don't have the time to grind the solo games, and I really want to.
I don't think it's
like
so much
watching
of a grind.
You do it. Well, no, I'll agree with you. And even
I've been
if it is a grind, sure. And even if it is a grind, you're still playing Dota. And I must say that even when I'm having a losing day, I still had fun. I still learned something playing it.
Dude, I have a smile on my face from Lifestealer. Just from that game that I played like 2 hours ago. Like, it brings me so much joy. It really does.
But I feel like I end up on one end of the spectrum or the other. And the first is, I've been in your current shoes where I've played so many games with so many people that are either A, new to the game, which I'm completely fine with. I understand everybody starts somewhere.
I'm not the person. If you're new to the game, play it. Like, I'm totally down to go into normal and play Alchemist mid. Like, I'll play some Alch mid, and we'll get you up to par.
But the fact of the matter is, when you're playing solo, you don't have control over who enters solo. Mm-hmm. And a lot of new players enter solo because of experiences they have in normal, and may not be fully prepared to, or at least we say aren't fully prepared. They're fine to enter solo ranked, but they aren't.
Valve put in an extra measure this patch, which I appreciate.
So, but anyway, so they're still new to the game, or B, they're complete morons, or C, they're complete assholes.
I think that's harsh. Here's what I'm gonna say about all of this, okay? I calibrated my MMR a year ago, more than a year ago.
Yeah.
I calibrated at 1.8K. Okay? I am only 500 points above that right now. Of course, my calibration was absolutely wrong. It was high. It was way too high. I was more like a 1,000 player at that point. And so, look at me. I was a dumbass. I was a moron. I wasn't an asshole. But, I mean, I was in a way.
My only point being that at this tier of MMR, those are your
I think
traditional,
you get assholes fucking everywhere.
You get a lot. Sure, I know, but I mean, they still exist here at this MMR.
Sure, absolutely.
And and unfortunately, that means they're assholes that aren't great at the game yet. But you also get people who
I'd rather have an asshole that's not good at the game than an asshole that is. Because I don't want them to be right. You know what I mean? If they're right and they're an asshole, that sucks.
I'd much rather have the asshole who's good at the game. I would much rather have the asshole.
We'll just put you with Blue every single game then.
I love Blue. God damn it, Blue.
I'm playing ranked with him right after this game.
I miss you, baby.
He's 6 away from calibrating.
Me and
6
Blue,
games.
we haven't even been able to play a game of a true try-hard team game yet.
Oh, really?
We got the team forfeited last.
And in the 82.
In 82.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I feel like you get those three types of people, and that has put me into your position where it's like, you know what? And I don't hold being new against somebody. I won't even hold being stupid against somebody. I will hold being an asshole against you. But it puts you in the situation where you feel like, I have to play a hero who can carry. I have to play a hero who has an impact on the game. I want to have that level of impact so that I can, because something that Slack said, before I even knew who Slack was, I saw a video of him talking about how the way you dig yourself out of the trench is by supporting. And you play support, and you don't let that moron get last hits if that moron can't get last hits. And he says, if you want to be better, if you want to raise your MMR, you have to genuinely believe that you're better at everybody else at that tier. Better than everybody else at that tier.
Yeah. I believe I'm 25 better than what I'm playing at all times.
And I have to believe that I'm better than everybody else.
And when I get squashed, I believe that I'm 25 worse.
So if you're going to believe that you're somebody who is better than everybody else at that tier, what's the logical position to play? And I wind up on two ends of the spectrum. And the first end of the spectrum is I want to play the carry and I want to have the most impact. But then I see tweets like that from Ursinity, and I get into this like,
I think comfort takes priority.
Sure. Well, and then I think what's the appropriate, and that kind of factors into my alternate position. Mm-hmm. So I see RC tweet about supporting. Slacks, of course, says you should support. I look at a team comp and it's like, hey, half the time, what everybody else is doing is what I'm doing. It's picking a core, and we have a 5-core team versus a 5-core team. maybe what the team is missing is a really solid
I
support.
love to pick Crystal Maiden. I love to pick Ogre Magi. I absolutely love it when we do have 4 cores and I'm last to pick and it's like, fuck, alright, well, we're not going to have a courier till 9 minutes if I don't go in there and buy one. And that will help you win a game. Having a courier before 9 minutes will help you win a game.
Yes, it will.
Having vision up at all will help you win a game.
Well, I mean, how many games have you and I even played where we're at 2-stack where we get partied with 3 solos?
Yes.
And
that's why
we lock in 2 lanes early on because nobody's willing to pick,
which is the worst way to do it.
Yeah, but
which leads to my second point, which is try your damnedest, even if that means you lose some gold because somebody's stubborn. And I know not everybody can do this, obviously, or this idea would never work, but try and get the latest pick you can. Or the last pick. And I swear to God, if you were in 1K to 2K, you don't know more than DotaPicker does.
Right, but
use DotaPicker.com.
On the flip side, I will counter that by saying
DotaPicker.com.
You are possibly exacerbating the problem by advising people to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Why it's like just try to get.
If we tell everybody out there,
I know. That's what
tries to get the last
that's why I
pick.
said try.
It's just
okay.
I don't know.
I'll say
I don't
how
know.
I've done it.
I don't know if you pick support. I don't know if you pick carry, or is it just somewhere magically in between?
I think regardless, the reason why I like last pick isn't because I am some mad genius at Dota and I can see 5 heroes and say, you know what would be the perfect pick with my team against these? No. I want the last pick because I am using a computational engine, that takes raw statistics for my team and my enemy's team, which I've started using the complete picker. It's badass.
Yeah, it is cool.
And it tells me, it says, hey, look, this hero, statistically speaking, has done really well. And if you can play that hero, statistically speaking, you are already at an advantage. And so, Lifestealer, he's been coming up a lot lately. Reason being, you see Pudge in every fucking pub you play. I swear to God, I played 4 games today. Pudge was in every single one.
And Lifestealer works well both
Pudge
against
is great
Pudge.
against Pudge and with Pudge.
With Pudge, yeah.
Because you just pop on in Pudge, he hooks somebody, and you pop on out. It's awesome. Pudge works great with PA. You see a shitload of PA. Pudge works great, Lifestealer works great with PA. Lifestealer works great with Spirit Breaker. Lifestealer works great as in he can go safe lane, he can go off lane, he can go mid if he has to, and he can jungle like a motherfucker. That's another thing you need to look for. Heroes that can play all of the positions.
Yeah.
There are only a few that can go
all 4 positions.
Well, I'm saying Lifestealer is one of the only heroes that can jungle. He can safe lane, he can off lane, he can mid.
Sure.
Some would argue Legion Commander could do the same, although I think Legion Commander jungle is so much slower than Legion Commander lane. Unless it's impossible, then fine, go jungle. But the people that just start the game with a jungle on a Legion, it is annoying. But some may say the same about Lifestealer. I usually start the game as a jungler. Just because I try and influence my team in the picking phase to say, hey, dude, you can take solo off lane. So you should pick your solo off lane. And people are like, wow, thanks. I never get to solo off lane in my pubs. Hey, dude, you can take mid. Take mid. Pick your mid. It doesn't matter. It's third pick. Pick your mid. They're not going to be able to counter the mid you were thinking about playing. It also communicating and being nice and influencing people to do things. That's another thing. Maybe not.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I do communicate a lot with the people that I play 1v1s with. Whether and it's not like the retrospective type of like, what the fuck are you doing? It's not even, please do this. It's like literally the way I communicate with my fellow pubbers is like this. I was Ogre Mage, okay? We're chasing after a Slark, okay? And I'm with a Bat Rider, and I know he has a Force Staff, and I just said, hey, Force Staff me. So I could and then stun him because it's so slow. And guess what? We killed him. And it was awesome. And after that, he was like, well played, well played, well played. Little things like that. If you've seen that Bat Rider use his Force Staff, and you know that Force Staff is going to get you a stun as Ogre Mage, and then you can kill that dude, just say that. That's all. Just help out. You know what I mean? Let the Bat Rider that's maybe not thinking what you're thinking, let him know. But don't be like, wow, noob didn't fucking Force Staff me. Or there are ways to do it effectively. I know I don't do it perfectly, but I try my best to be nice and amiable, and whatever you're gonna do is fine. And if you died, that sucks. If you die again, that really sucks. If you die 3 times, I'm gonna come bot and I'm gonna help you. Because you've died 3 times now. there's obviously a problem. If you're feeding or being an asshole, you're probably muted, which means I'm looking at you at face value. I'm looking at you as though you're a check mark on my mini map, and if enemies are after you, I'm still gonna help you because you're on my team and I want to win. I don't hold grudges against people as far as not healing them or not helping them if they're a dick. I just mute them, and I still want to win the game. And if winning the game means using my mech to save their life, I'm gonna use my mech to save their life. You know what I mean? I mean, how many personal vendettas, personal grudges do you see in games where it's like, you know, I'm a goddamn Abaddon and now I'm never going to throw a shield on you because you were a dick to me. Happens way too often. You're going to lose pubs because of it. Venom needs to be taken away. And try to do that. Try and diffuse situations as well. If you can't diffuse, mute them both. You don't want to hear either end of two people arguing. Keeping these things in mind and picking late, even if picking late means picking first. I know I can't tell you all to pick late, but
so I'm gonna give people an idea because of the end of what you have been playing, and admittedly, some of this is in 6.8.4.
What did you do? Last month?
Yeah, in the last month you've played 114 games.
Okay.
21 of those games, so just shy of 20%, were Storm Spirit.
Okay, that. I haven't played Storm Spirit at all. Once. I played him once in 6.8.5, and it was a horrible game. And I was like, "He's broken. It's not my fault. He's broken." Yeah.
You've played 9 games of Abaddon.
Okay.
Or Abaddon, however folks prefer to say it.
Abaddon.
Let's see. You played 7 of Techies. 6...
Which he's garbage. I'm completely convinced of it. 6.8.5 did what they needed to do. Techies is still a niche pick. There is still a place to pick Techies, but he is nowhere near what he was. I thought he was because it was like, wow, now I can just place unlimited mines everywhere. Yes, it takes the same amount of time to place 8 bombs as it did 4. If I wanted to do 4 stacks. It takes the same amount of time, takes the same amount of mana. All they did was, whatever. You clump up. It's just, he's not as good as he was. He still is very pickable, in my opinion, in the right places, but not the ridiculousness that we saw. Keep going, sorry. I don't like him so much.
6 games of AM.
Anti-Mage. I like Anti-Mage if he's the pick, dude. Like, if they've got a Skywrath, if they've got a Pugna, if they've got a Storm Spirit, which you see a lot of Storm Spirit, especially in 6.8.5 I did, why not? Like, why not grab somebody that you know you can last hit easily with, and you can escape easily with.
5 games of Broodmother.
Okay, I love that hero. The hero's really cool. I liked it. It was probably all 5 games off lane, maybe mid a few times.
5 games of IO.
Yep, I've been playing a lot of IO. It feels like
40% on the win rate, though.
I know. One time I played with 3-flow counterpick Fro, whatever you want to call him, and he was Legion Commander, and it was hard, man. I was like, dude, do you want me to take the last hits? Like you're not getting any. And then when we would relocate, I'd have to ping, where we are before. I'd ping on the minimap where we are now before I've relocated. Ping, ping, ping on us. And this probably annoyed the shit out of our teammates. Ping, ping, ping on where we're going. And then ping, ping, ping on where we're going or where we are now because I just relocated us to hopefully get him to find the duel quick enough.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a way to center camera on hero, I think. I just used space to center camera on hero. Just so I'm just there on my hero. So we lost out on so many duels, so many kills, so many potential huge victories. Because it was just slow to react, and he was against Blade Mail, and he's like, what should I get? I have 2,000 gold.
Yeah.
And I was like, Blade Mail, because when you duel somebody, which is the whole point why we picked IO fucking Legion Commander, is so we can go around and get you duel wins. Why would Blade Mail be good? Can we stop and think about why Blade Mail's good on Legion? And it's like, I don't know. When you duel them, you turn it on, so when they're hitting you, it's doing their damage, and you're doing damage.
Dropped him on his head a few times.
I don't know. He built a Sange, which I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. I thought that was fine, but I was like, build a Blade Mill. Build a Blade Mill. Build a Blade Mill. All game long. I think he's following something, or I don't know, wasn't willing to deviate.
See Legion with Blade Mill. I mean...
That's because it's a fucking good item when you get somebody in a duel.
In fact, yeah.
I think it's I think it's the core item for Legion Commander.
But then, so, just a quick rundown. Sniper, Lifestealer, Shadow Fiend, Earthshaker, Venomancer, and then beyond that, you've got a smattering of 2-game, 1-game heroes.
Pick what's right. I pick what's good in my heart, dude. Is that in ranked play?
Yeah.
That's in ranked play.
I mean...
Did you pick the ranked option? There's an option in Dota Buff to say ranked only. Because that's really the important stats, dude.
All 21 of those Storm games were
ranked. I know. I know. Fuck yeah, they were. It was a great way to climb.
Yeah, so...
I'm sure the distribution isn't too much different.
It's very similar. Ricky pops up near the top.
Ricky is, I don't know. If you see a Lina and a Sniper both in a game, unless they have like Slardar and Bounty Hunter, pick Ricky, because I swear to God, Lina is just like dog food. Like, you just pour it in, you just lap up the whole bowl, dude. Because it's just easy, dude. You do it in 3 strikes. Oh, it's fun. I absolutely love Ricky. I think the rework is the only thing that needed to be different about Ricky. To make him, once again, just an awesome hero. And we hated him. Remember, he was the first obstacle.
Yeah.
He was the first obstacle to get over. And and then Spirit Breaker, we had that weird Spirit Breaker and Silencer phase where like Spirit Breaker was wrecking all of our pubs and Silencer was wrecking all of our pubs and Ricky was wrecking all of our pubs.
I think Silencer still messes with, especially the new players. I think unless you play him and understand what each of those various abilities does and kind of what he's hoping you do whenever he casts that combo on you.
I'll say that we went up against a core Silencer off lane, okay? And this is once again with 3-fro counterpick, fro, whatever you want to call him. As me, Abaddon core, and him Dazzle as my support. And I thought, not Dazzle, sorry, Coddle. And I was like, I've always wanted to do this because you're going to make my cooldown for my shield so much lower. I have no mana problems. You're ranged. You can push if need be. You can mana leak if need be because we don't have a stun, so we're going to rely on that. And guess what? We fucking owned that Silencer. Because he would cast mana on me when he got a spell put on him, and then I would just cast a heal on something else. And just get rid of all of Silencer's damage. His regen was gone in like 2 minutes. He was nothing, and we wrecked him.
Abaddon is a good counter or a good
Abaddon alone was not
against Silencer.
Abaddon alone, I think he would have troubles until level 6. Not really. Yeah. I mean, he needs his mana because his shield is basically effective HP. Especially if you're doing carry Abaddon. If you're doing support Abaddon, then you just have no mana and you're useless against a Silencer. Usually, I would never pick an Abaddon into a Silencer.
I don't think it's that
he has a teeny mana pool. He starts with like 280 mana, Abaddon. He can do basically 2 shields. 3, because it's like 90 starting cost. So we can do like 3 shields. And you probably already have the shield on you by the time he casts whatever that is. Silencer is one of my blind spots. I don't ever play Silencer. Because you did. And that's the whole reason why I don't play Silencer. It was like a ripple effect. You were really into Silencer, and so I was like, why would I learn Silencer? Because this is when we were starting.
Silencer a negative 2.9 against him, according to Dota Picker.
Really?
Yep.
Why?
I've always felt like I lane well against Silencer with Abaddon.
I guess because he's squishy, and that's. I wonder if that's taking in the overall game, because overall in the game, it's great. But laning, just that...
Early game is where he's considered the worst.
Where Silencer is considered the worst?
Yeah. I've never had a hard time laning against him.
I just have a bad taste in my mouth about Silencer and laning against him, I guess. Because, it seemed logical because it was like, all my spells are big mana cost.
Early on, the mana drain from is it Curse of the Silent? Is that the AOE? I forget the name.
Last Word, I don't fucking know.
No, Last Word I think is the single. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but the Curse of the Silent, when that goes off, at like level 1, and even kind of at level 2, like the mana drain from that is not too bad. You probably would notice it more. Like I'll tell you who notices it. Anytime I've ever laned against a Silencer with Wazoo on Jug, when that Curse of the Silent goes off on Jug's mana pool just looks like he has no mana.
Well, I think the point is Abaddon doesn't necessarily need mana. Like,
he doesn't need a ton of mana, and think about like one of your best abilities is the Curse of Avernus, your passive.
But if you're playing a support Abaddon, you don't even get Curse of Avernus until like level 10.
Yeah, but even then,
level 9.
Even then,
level 10.
If you need to avoid losing the mana, then just cast something quickly. And it never hurts you to cast a heal on an ally. It never hurts you to
But when
put
I'm doing
the
my
shield
carry
on an
build,
ally.
I didn't have my heal. So it at first was fucking me going up against that silencer.
Well, then pop the shield on yourself.
The shield is just
and
so
then
much
go in.
mana and the
Sure,
cooldown.
But I
the
mean,
cooldown's
do
too
you
long.
carry clarities early on?
No, I'm talking. This was with the coddle. This is still with the coddle. I didn't need mana. It was the cooldown that was fucking me because he was hitting me with that Curse of the Silent over and over and over and over, and I just couldn't get mana to me fast enough, or the cooldown was on. I was trying to save it for every time he used that. He was the top dude on their team. I think that's why it was particularly hard. But we still won, and we beat him, and we knew that we were going up against like a 27. Whoa, watch out, guys. We were going up against a 2700 silencer, but he was like the top in the game, and we knew he was probably the most competent.
All right, so knowing what you've played, because your advice to me has been a lot of like,
But I
play
went
Sand
through-
King,
but
play
I went-
Sand King, but Sand
Not
King's
Sand
not on
King.
the... You have suggested to me several times to play
So
Sand
I think
King.
you should learn Sand King.
But no, you have suggested him as one of those snowball-esque or...
Because he was my highest win rate. I don't play much Sand King anymore.
That's what I'm saying is, so knowing... but your big climb happened
I don't
over
have a
the last
single
month.
hero to suggest to anybody.
No,
I think
I'm
you
saying
should know
give
them
me. Well, you've made hero suggestions to me in the past. Who are your heroes to watch out for?
Okay.
Who are your heroes to watch for the right opportunity to help climb
Junglers.
up through
Okay.
that 1 to 2K?
Learn how the jungle works. Learn how to stack. Learn how to use the jungle. Learn how to use it from level 1. There are some heroes that require like level 3. Ursa does not require level 3, by the way. You can jungle Ursa from level 1. Which I am so surprised by people who are like, I just need level 3. It's like, no, you don't. Matter of fact, it would have been faster for both of us had you just gone in there. So learn how to jungle. Definitely learn how that works. Learn how to last hit. If you want, like, that was the big thing. I guess, like, this is just, like, logical steps in becoming a better Dota player.
Or should they instead go back in time to 6.84 and get really good at Storm Spirit?
What, you just did the math for 22 times 25?
Well, no, 20, because you didn't win all 21. So I did 21 times your win rate. Means you won 16% of the games, or 16 of the 21 games.
Okay.
16 times 25 is a net gain of 400 MMR that you got with Storm alone.
That's my overall win rate with Storm. Or is that last month win rate with Storm?
That's your last month.
Well, okay, learn a hero that's abusive at the end of a patch and run it. That was 400 points. I've climbed 1,000 at this point.
Hey, I'm just,
you know what I mean?
Whoa.
No, you brought this up multiple times. Fuck you.
I'm saying 40%
Like,
of your MMR gain.
I'm sorry you're 1,300. I'm sorry you're fucking 1,300 still, okay?
Excuse me,
I'm not
I'm
1,300.
1,500.
Okay,
you know?
1,500. I'm sorry that you're 1,500. Don't blame it on 21
No, I'm
games of
just
Storm
saying,
Spirit.
400 points.
Okay,
That's a
in
lot
the
of
last month there were multiple 2-in-1 games that I played, and I'm just saying, like, I think you should learn how to last hit. I think you should go into bot matches. By the way, do that. It's totally worth your time. If you don't have enough time for a game, and you're like, what am I going to do? I don't have enough time for a game. Create a lobby and start playing on any hero. It doesn't even matter which hero. Preferably play on a hero you play, or plan on playing, and practice last hitting. Even against passive bots, it doesn't matter. Practice last hitting.
105 of your 114 games in the last month were ranked, by the way.
105 of my 114.
So 20% of your games were 1 in 5 games were Storm Spirit over your climb.
Yeah.
Just as a point. I
picked him first. I didn't care. I saw Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
Like I found a hero that I could play. Some people would argue that Storm Spirit's hard to play, and that Sumail argues he's a high skill hero.
Your win rate with Abaddon is pretty impressive too. I mean, you got 200 points. So between Abaddon and Storm Spirit, 600 of your points were those two heroes.
Yeah, I mean
that's a testament to those two for sure at that skill level.
But the thing is, I'm not thinking for myself. You got to keep that in mind as well. DotaPicker.com. I didn't get paid by them once again, although I should be because your guys' site is awesome. I should pay you probably for using it as often as I do. I'm like your servers are plagued. Every computer I have has DotaPicker open. No, it just gives you good suggestions. And they're true suggestions. Like Ember pops to the top when a Broodmother comes up, not for no reason. Because, you know what I mean? It's because Ember is legitimately good against Broodmother.
No,
There are counters to heroes. And
I think they're genuinely trying to work that up as far as just a hero. Admittedly, I still would rather, especially in captain's mode, draft with
that's
with
where
team
I've learned how to
and
draft.
use the brain as opposed to the Dota picker.
That's where you learn how to draft, because you see some things as automatic. Like, for instance, maybe I didn't know that Ember and Brood were really mean, or that Ember was really mean against Brood, because I'd never play Ember and I never play Brood. So how would you ever know that Ember crushes?
Yeah.
And that Brood hates it? That's something that if you see it enough times, plugging it into Dota Picker, when it comes to a draft and you have Broodmother and you're looking for your third ban, Ember Spirit, because he would wreck my Broodmother. Like, there are plenty. I think that helped me with my drafting, is I can see things and start to explain them just based on knowing what's good against something. Because it's like, why would, this be good against this? Because I know it is, I just don't know why. And then you start to think about it and you're like, duh, that's why.
Yeah.
Storm Spirit and Anti-Mage, for instance, one of the most hated. I saw a Reddit thread of 684 that said thank you to all the Storm Spirits, and it was a guy that showed like 20 games of Anti-Mage consecutively won, just because Storms were in all of his games, and he could just wreck Storm Spirits. At 2K or below, it was probably below 2K when I got the Storm Spirit Rise out.
No, it definitely was. I mean, it was below 2K when you started playing.
I teetered on 2K for a long time. Before, because I got stuck on like Storm, and then Storm started to do me wrong. I started to lose with Storm, and I was like, I jumped ship.
All right, I'm gonna close this out because we've got about an hour here.
Is that the requirement? It's just the hidden hour? I think.
I think
there should be like an arc.
Well, you don't have
like in content.
You're not giving me any heroes,
Oh, you want heroes to play?
I'm saying if you're a one.
I said junglers. Like, I think that
Right.
Lifestealer's good. I think that Legion Commander's good. I think that if you want to play Pudge, I see Pudge do well. I think he's a cool hero, whatever. He exists in every game. If you're a Pudge player, play Pudge. I'm sure you can climb out of the MMR that way, because
you don't have any games of Legion in the last month.
Yeah, I don't play Legion, but I think Legion's an awesome hero.
I don't know.
I think there are certain
I'm
specials.
trying to look at like what you did, and if you're trying to advise people based off of what you did.
I guess I played a bunch of different heroes. I know that's the case. I picked what was right based on what Dota Picker told me to do. That's like my biggest, I guess maybe you should just close the show. There is no, the point of Dota is there is no end-all be-all hero. There is no hero that's like pick it and you'll win every time. Like,
well, I mean, it's just not kind of the conversation that we were having previously, which was you were making suggestions to me about...
Because there are certain types of heroes that are good in certain like, I don't know, I guess
and my counter-argument to that previously was that that's not really what you were doing. When we look at your stats, like what you were doing was you had a ton of Storm Spirit games, you had a really solid chunk of Abaddon games.
Get rid of 30%, 70% of my games. Most of my games were on diverse heroes.
Right, but the rest of those games is where your win rate drops either to 50-50 with, 2 games a pop.
There's still like 400 points there.
Well, you're net neutral. You know what I mean? Like, those heroes you didn't really gain or lose with those games.
Regardless. I feel like I played a diverse pool of heroes. I've done well with a diverse pool of heroes.
I feel a little bit like maybe there was a titch of spamming.
Okay. Well, I'd love to see you spam Bloodseeker and win, is what I'll say. Because you spammed Bloodseeker and lost a lot.
I think I ended up being above 50 on old Bloodseeker.
Are you? I bet you're below 50 from what I've seen, dude. Like, if we want to get rude and venomous and
no, I'm not being. I'm trying.
At least I have a win rate on the hero I spammed with. At least I have the positive win rate.
No, I'm certainly not trying to do that.
It feels like you are.
No. I'm trying to. All right. I don't feel like it's a practice what you preach. You know what I mean?
That's going against everything that I've said, and it absolutely is. I'm still climbing, brother. Okay? You're still stuck in 1300 picking Bloodseeker, okay?
And I have a 53% win rate on
cool, that's not 71 or 83, bro. Yeah, I used the hero to get me to like 1700. And then 685 hit.
Yeah, okay.
1,800.
I'm just saying.
1,900-ish.
We can account for 600 of your 1,000 between two heroes.
Cool, play like Queen of Pain over and over, and let's see your win rate, dude. They're hard heroes still. Fuck you, and it was not a spam. Let's closer. I didn't want to do Venom this time. But now I feel a little venomous, yeah.
And then then 7 games of techies, I don't know.
What's the win rate?
60%.
Cool, higher than your Bloodseeker that you spam. Like, still, at least it's higher than your shitty Bloodseeker that you saw everybody else win with but yourself, dude.
He got so angry. I don't think Blood was nearly as broken as Storm.
Yeah, he was. Are you fucking kidding? Look at win rates of 684. Look at win rate 684C.
You guys want to find us weird defense of the patient.
No, look at win rates of 684C. Fuck you. No,
you're right.
Yeah, Blood was way more. Yeah. So you're mad that I am more skillful of a player than you.
I'm just saying,
I'm sorry, it's been shown.
Just pointing out.
I am the more skillful host. I guess I am.
You sure?
You're gonna concede? Are you gonna concede
You have a higher solo MMR than I do.
You're not gonna. So you still think you're a better player than me? You think you're a better Dota player than me? I have twice as many games as you.
You do have twice as many games. Yes.
But I'm not a better Dota player than you.
I think that your inability to control your impulsivity in games often gives me the edge.
Okay.
And while you may have more experience, which may equate to better mechanical skill, definitely, I think
my impulsivity is what kills me.
I think your impulsivity is what holds you back there, and that I don't have. I have the nod to the show, the patience that is more frequently required. With like strategic movement and game sense.
I came up with the name, so fuck it. I came up with Defense of the Patience as a name.
After this week, everybody's going to be convinced that we're like breaking up. The show's over.
All right, close it out. Whatever. Yeah, I am impulsive. I know it. Fuck you. All right.
If you guys want to find us, we're at defenseofthepatients.com. You can follow us on Twitter at .p_show. Send us your emails, hate mail, love mail, all things considered to defenseofthepatients@gmail.com. Find us on iTunes. We were told today that maybe folks are having trouble finding us on Stitcher. If that's the case, somebody shoot us an email. I haven't been able to check yet, but let us know if you're having an issue finding us on Stitcher. We're definitely on iTunes. Just search Defense of the Patients, and it's real easy to locate us. Leave us a review. We're going to get to those. Coming up this week, we've got Theorycraft Thursdays with Roland and Ursi. On Friday, we've got Camel, marketing exec, or marketing guru, who's going to come on the show to talk with us a little bit about just all things esports, marketing, brand name management, somebody who's in that type of business to give us an experienced look at everything. And then coming up on the following Monday episode, we're finally getting to it. We're going to do the .p bodies. I know we spoiled the winner of the best interview and the best episode, but you still have best intro and we still have best intro song, all of which will be revealed on the Monday episode, which will be nice and crisp and clean and put together for you guys. So, any parting words, Mr. Roland?
It wasn't Storm Spirit. They got me there. Win as Lifestealer right there. I'm looking at it. Yeah, it wasn't Storm Spirit.
So until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland saying good luck and Godspeed.